Hi, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist living in Charleston, South Carolina. With me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelli.
I'm Kelli Busby, an executive assistant and former radio host, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, we hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio. And this is a special bonus episode where we will be discussing The Traitors, season 3, episodes 6 and 7.
We have a special guest joining us. Our friend Kate, my old roommate and travel
Yay!
buddy, is here. She's joining us from Montana. You may remember her from episode 138, Can You Wear Jorts on a Super Yacht? Welcome, Kate.
Hey, you guys, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me again.
I'm so excited and I'm so glad that we're doing this.
Well, it's time to discuss The Traitors.
Spoiler warning. We will be discussing episode 6 and 7 from The Traitors, season 3. You have been warned.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
so let's start with episode 6. So when it begins, the Traitors are up in the turret, and Carolyn confronts Danielle, and Danielle promises she will, quote, make it right tomorrow. What do you guys think about that?
So Boston Rob kept saying, "Stop, stop." His accent was in full force, and he cannot believe what's going on in the turret. I mean, the traitors are fighting against each other. How does that even happen?
I
This is
know.
so weird.
It's such a
It's so
mess.
interesting, isn't it? Like, even though when Rob is saying that up there, he's right. Stop, stop. We should be getting along, but I don't trust him for 1 second.
I
No,
know.
Guys,
No, and neither do they.
and I don't trust Danielle either. I mean,
no,
she's not to be trusted one bit.
right.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So that night they decide they're going to murder Bob H, which I'm very sad about.
I am
Me
too.
too.
And everybody's,
Why?
yeah, I don't know. He was not a threat. He was definitely not a threat.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused why they aren't making their decisions in reverse. Like, who could we kill that
Right.
would sort of put a mark on somebody else? Who,
Hmm.
Yeah.
like Bob, did they put a mark on anybody?
No, I
Like,
mean, Bob did say, I mean, this Bob H was maybe not a great idea for Rob because remember, Bob H said, wouldn't that be crazy if like
Yeah.
Rob was a traitor and this is like he went after
yes.
whatever his name, drag show, what's his name? Bob the
Bob the
drag
drag
queen.
queen.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sideshow Bob, but I didn't know that was spelled
Bob,
right.
Rob.
Wrong one.
Yes, too many Bobs. Um, yeah, I don't know. The decisions are a little interesting at this point. So that next day, Rob is trying to convince everybody that Wes is a traitor, and Wes and Derek are planning to take out Rob like that night at the round table. Did we discuss this last time that Wes looks like Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph from the
Oh, I
No,
love
but he
that.
does.
I love that. My husband was Yukon Cornelius 2 Halloweens ago.
Oh, that's
It
perfect.
was so good, but you're right. He's kind of missing the big,
Yeah.
mustache that Yukon has, but I could
Yeah.
go with that.
Nice.
So Tom decides to pipe up and he's throwing around Brittany's name to Dolores, who
Yeah.
Dolores is just not having it. And then he moves off to Wes and Derek, and then he tells them he thinks it's Dolores. So he's such a goofball, and I'm not fully sure he knows where he is right now. So, but my question is, do you think this is an act on him, or is he can't really be like this in real life, can he?
I think this is all real. I think this is
Oh my gosh.
100% who he is. Yeah. And in fact, let me go down to my notes because I have a thought about this. So I was listening to Andy Cohen and John Hill talking on Daddy Diaries podcast,
Yeah.
and they were like, when they saw Tom Sandoval on Vanderpump Rules, it wasn't as obvious what like a dum-dum he was because he was surrounded by dum-dums. But like now that
Oh,
he's with these like smarter people, John Hill said, I worry about his cognition.
Oh
oh
dear.
my word.
I thought that
Tom's
was so,
cognition?
yeah, Tom's.
I have
Yikes.
some notes about that myself.
Oh my gosh. So funny. Okay, let me get back to where I was. At the challenge, three people get shields and they decide they're going to keep it a secret from everybody. But some of the traitors are in the groups that find the shield. So who got him? Was it Carolyn, Dylan, and Chriselle?
I, I don't remember.
Chriselle,
I know
yes, I
Carolyn
think.
did, but that's
Okay.
all I remember.
Okay. It didn't really seem to come up much, like that whole like shield
Well,
thing.
in Derek's group, it was a woman, I remember.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So at the round table that night, Derek goes for Rob, and Rob spins this tale and drops Wes's name. Then Wes comes for Rob, and the girls are then coming at Wes. And Rob is so freaking good at what he does. It's so
Uh-huh.
chaotic. And then to like add more chaos, Danielle and Carolyn are then going at each other. And
Yeah.
in the end, Wes is banished and he has a great parting speech.
Okay, but wait a second here. We have to
Mhm.
go back to Wes in that episode
Yeah.
Yeah.
because, you kind of have a chance to, rebut the
Yeah.
argument. He really did not play that well.
He did not do himself any favors.
No.
Because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I mean, that's too
Yeah.
much for me.
Yeah. I mean, the girls were like, uh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah, I was right
Red
there with
flag.
Sierra when she sort of called him out. I'm like, even if you aren't a traitor, that's no, we're not doing that.
Hmm.
so and Wes, while he is a hard ass and saying that he's coming after people, he looked like he was one, either going to start crying when they were talking about him, or two, unleash his ginger fury on the table. And I wanted to call witness intimidation against Boston Rob because the looks he was giving everybody, and I know it was all
Mhm.
editing, but still, like he was doing the set mom, like,
Hmm.
don't you do this, kind of look to
Oh
people.
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I can't believe anybody believes anything he says after like knowing how he was on Survivor and these other shows, but
I have
he's
questions for his wife.
yeah, how can you
How
trust him?
about how come this phrase continue season after season in Traders?
Hmm.
Yeah.
How come this phrase keeps coming out where they say 100% not a traitor? When are people gonna drop that
Yeah.
phrase?
Yeah.
Never,
Because
never.
I
do you know
am
what I mean?
Yeah.
faithful 100%.
Yes, just that's
Yeah.
gotta leave people's mouths because
Yeah, there's certain phrases on reality shows that everybody says. On Survivor and some other shows, it used to be, I'm not here to make friends. Do you remember that
yeah.
one?
Ah, yes, yes.
And then on Below Deck and also The Housewives, it's, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh
And then
yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
storming off.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
Love it.
So funny. Okay, so in the turret, total chaos.
Yes.
Carolyn confronts Danielle about putting her name out to people, and Danielle was like, "I didn't." Well, that was yesterday, not today.
Okay, Carolyn handled that so well.
She
Hmm.
did.
It kind of took me back to like elementary school days with mean girls on the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
Yeah.
I just thought Carolyn handled that well. She kind of called Danielle out
Hmm.
and was like, I see what you did. I have that in my filing cabinet, and we're moving on. I mean, she didn't really show that she was super worked up or anything, and
Yeah.
that's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was really good. Well,
Yeah.
Rob at this point, he has like no idea what to do, no game plan because
Yes.
everyone's turning on each other. And Carolyn suggests, maybe they need to go after Danielle. And they don't seem to know who they're going to murder tonight.
Yeah. When
So
okay,
in
when they were making that decision, who were you guys kind of leaning towards?
so
Um,
the
yeah,
names were Sam, Dylan, Sierra, and Derek, right?
I thought Sam would have been a good choice because it's so
Yeah.
random. Like everyone assumes he's a faithful and
Yeah.
like he doesn't really add much. So it'd be like, why would you take out Sam? I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Well,
Hmm.
for me, in every single one of these times they're in the turret, I keep wondering when they're gonna pull the card of taking Tom out because Chriselle has been so outward about I'm
Yeah,
so ready for you to not be here, and it really doesn't even have anything to do with the game
right.
itself.
Hmm.
But that's gonna be an easy one, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think part of the reason they're keeping him around, besides like he's not a threat to anyone, is they know that it
Mhm.
makes for good TV, right?
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, in their confessionals, do you think their eyes look weird?
What do
Have
you
you
mean?
noticed like their eyeballs, like they look, I think it has something to do with the lighting because there's no like
Okay.
little there's no
They don't
like
have the little
gloss to
like
them.
light in their eye.
Yeah,
Oh, weird.
it's pupil.
Ooh, I'm
Like
gonna have
it's
to look at that. I feel like
iris
that's how
and
Boston
pupil.
Rob always looks. He has those like really dark eyes.
Yeah, but even like Danielle and like every Tom, well, Tom has like black eyes, so whatever, but
Yeah. Who is
even the
doing the
light,
lighting?
right, who is this? I have questions, but yeah, it was just, I think that's bothering me a lot this season because I'm like, they
Notice
just,
that. It's interesting.
All right, I'm
yeah,
gonna have to pay attention to that.
Do you know what
yeah.
I notice
Hmm.
oftentimes? I mean, you obviously have a background in this, so these kinds of things stick out for you. But things that stick out for me is in audio when you can hear, like people
Yes.
closing their mouth, or it's like, take a drink of water or something. I have not, just for the record, I have not noticed that in these episodes.
Okay,
But I've
gotcha.
noticed them on plenty of other podcasts and things like that.
That's funny.
You guys haven't noticed that?
No, I do. Like there's some of there I'm like, we can't listen to you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
My
funny.
ears and I are done.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, that's where that episode ends. So let's get into episode 7. So once again, we're in the turret. They discuss the shields. Carolyn has one, and Rob won't say who got one in his group. What was his reason for this besides just kind of being a jerk? Like, what advantage would that have for him?
It's a control thing.
Okay.
He wants nothing but control and control of everything.
And
That's
they
all it
let it
is.
go.
Hmm.
Interesting, huh? Instead of
Yeah.
pressing and calling them out on it, they kind of let it go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. So Sam, Dylan, Sierra, and Derek are discussed, and Danielle says no to all of the suggestions, and they just cannot agree.
No, but what you got to back up a minute.
Mm.
You started that turret scene saying, I could care less who goes. And then every single name that comes up, apparently she
She
did.
cared.
Yeah.
She cared a
She
lot.
cared.
Yeah, that was annoying.
And then the one that killed me is that when Derek's name came up, she kind of turned into a non-player and was like, I just can't. He's like too much of a friend. And I'm like,
Yeah.
second, you're playing a game here?
Yeah. At
Right.
some point, you're going to be killing your friends here. Like,
You
Right.
know?
Yeah. I mean, she played Big Brother, right? That was a big game, wasn't it?
apparently, I've not seen it,
I've
but
never watched it, but so I watched with my parents this week, both of the episodes. And my dad just kept asking, like, even hours after we watched it, why don't they just pick one of the traitors? And I was like, well, I guess they could, but they all watch the person's write the name out of who they want
Yes.
murdered. So they all make
yeah,
sure they're on the same page. I said, but it would be interesting, wouldn't it? And he was like,
I
If
yeah,
somebody like snuck it in there and
yeah.
I
do
wonder
that.
if that's even allowed.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
don't think so
know.
because I think all three people they have to agree. So,
Yeah.
Have you guys
It's
noticed with the cuts? So the cuts from in the morning when they walk into breakfast and stuff,
mhm,
have you noticed that they keep all the names that were up for question to enter the last group?
totally.
so
And
smart.
yeah, and I wonder
I know,
if
but I mean, come on, if you're a player now in the
right,
next
if you're a player,
season,
are you
I mean,
noticing that? That's
yes.
yeah, that's a really good point.
Hmm.
So you'll know like who the traders were all discussing.
Yeah,
So
it's good TV because we're
Yeah.
yeah,
all, oh, which one, isn't going to
uh-huh,
enter? But if you were a player sitting at the table, you're going to start noticing that pattern.
right.
Were
Yeah, you
there
would think.
Did they do that last year too? Because if they would
Yes,
have to did they really?
they did.
See, you got to
That's
mix
when I
that stuff
started
up.
noticing it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I've been kind of
Interesting.
waiting to see the players
Mm-hmm.
notice that pattern as well.
Yeah. One thing I heard on a podcast last year, what was that guy's name? Johnny Bananas and
Yeah.
Trishelle, our nemesis.
Oh, yeah.
They were on a podcast together, and she said one thing that the players pick up on is like if the cameras are on somebody's face a lot, that could be a traitor because they're like looking
Oh,
for the reaction all the time. So I'm sure
Oh,
there's all kinds of things that they are like picking up in with production, and I'm sure hopefully they've made adjustments to like not do that too much because you don't want to give away who the
yeah. Oh,
traitors
that's
are.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
which leads to I would be a terrible player.
Okay, well, here's a
You
question.
already know what I'm thinking by what my face looks like.
Would you
So
guys want to be a traitor or a faithful in this game if you were on?
I think I want to be I want to be a traitor because I'm nosy and I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But there's no way, I would be acting like Danielle has been, looking down, not looking at anybody, um, I don't know,
crying too much, you'd be doing that.
Yeah.
I can't lie. And in my day job, like I have, there are a lot of papers I have signed, right? So I don't with three letter, NDAs and stuff. But like even with that, I just don't answer questions about things.
Yeah. What
That's
about
just
you,
smart.
Kate? What would you want to be if you were in the game?
Well, you've known me for a long time, so
I think
you
you'd be
tell
a
me,
I think
girl.
you'd be a great traitor, actually.
I
I
know.
think
I
you'd
would
have a
make a
lot
really
of
good
fun with
trader.
that.
I would do a good job being a faithful, but I could play the traitor game big time.
Yeah. It's easy to think that as a faithful, we could do a better job than them at like sussing out the traitors, but we wouldn't.
There's no way.
There just
There's no
isn't any
way.
way, unless you're Danielle. I mean, I can't believe no one's like really going for her, but
Right? After that scene, I can't remember how many episodes it was, but they were in the church and they had to listen to riddles and solve
yeah.
the riddle.
Yeah.
Her
Oh,
performance in
Danielle.
there,
What was
I'm
that?
so confused why
Hmm.
people didn't sort of hone in on that a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a big suspicious move.
I think Boston Rob saved her on that because he drew the attention away from her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job, Boston
That's a
Rob.
good point. So at breakfast, Derek is murdered, and
Ew.
they flash back to the turret, and Danielle says, she wants to start over again with Rob and Carolyn.
Do not trust her. I do not. I wouldn't trust her with a house plant. I do not trust her.
No.
I take
It's,
offense to that comment, Kelly.
Why? Oh, do you not have,
are
do
you a
they come to your
houseplant?
house to die?
I just love them too much.
Yeah.
Nice. So Danielle starts crying again. She
Yeah.
knows
Why?
that Derek isn't really dead, right?
I don't,
She
I,
Just
loves
went
Sierra
home.
though. She totally in that episode's like, the crying is too
Oh,
much.
it's
yeah, it
ridiculous.
is. It is. It's too
So
much.
Tom Sandoval in this episode, dressed as a middle school gym teacher, he finally sets his sights on Rob. He finally is right about one of these traitors.
He has had his aha moment. Oprah would be so proud of him.
Oh,
So,
but like, okay, you're gonna get there, Sarah.
no, go
I have
ahead.
things to say about this.
Yeah.
He, so you're right. He's had his aha moment, but then he pretty much sits down in a circle where Rob is and looks at him and is like, there's so much evidence against you, Rob. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? And I'm sitting there
Yeah.
going,
Yeah, we
your
know.
honesty comes out now?
Right. Oh gosh. I mean, it's like the most obvious thing, and he's so proud of himself too for
Of
like,
course he is.
yeah. So Dylan tells Rob and Tom Sandoval that Derek thinks Brittany is a traitor.
And this is based on what Derek told him right before the murder, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So this
Okay.
next episode could be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Foreshadow.
for the challenge, Alan tells them they're going to have to pair up, and Alan is dressed as a beautiful bride, as is his dog. Um,
Love.
Normally the
love.
players are wearing like sweatpants for these challenges, they may like rowing a boat or something. This time they are in all black and red and they look like the cast of Clue.
They,
I loved
whoever did
it.
the costuming on this, okay, if you're listening, costuming person,
Yeah,
kudos to you.
Yeah.
I
You
think
did
they should
I
win an award for this.
fabulously.
Yes, and I was especially in love with Dylan's outfit. Hello.
What was Dylan's outfit? Remind me there.
It was kind of like a black and red brocade jacket. It was just real tailored and just
Oh yeah.
Him and
he made
Tom
it work.
Sandoval
And it
looked
was
really good together.
And I
yeah.
liked Alex's corsage.
Yes.
Alex.
Wait,
Oh,
Alan.
Alan.
The
Alan?
host.
Oh,
Alan,
yeah,
sorry.
gotcha.
Yeah, I really liked his corsage.
Yeah, it was very cool. He
Okay,
posted on, what'd
before
you
you
say?
go too much further though, Sarah, I have to know, like, who, if you were in that situation, who would your thinking be
Oh, to
behind who
like,
you would pick?
oh, who to pair up with?
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have picked one of the dudes because it's like you don't know, do you
Yeah,
need to be strong for this challenge? Like they don't have any idea what the
Oh,
challenge is.
right.
interesting. What
But do
Yeah.
would
you
you do,
guys
Kelly?
remember, was it last season or was it the first season where they had to go into that like shack and there were mice
Yes.
and rats
Oh
everywhere?
yeah, that
And
was last season because I saw that
oh
one.
my gosh. So maybe they should have been expecting this because we
Yeah.
hadn't had like a gross, nasty challenge yet.
Yeah.
I had kind of forgotten that that might be coming.
Yeah. I think I would probably like get go for Dylan or Boston Rob because they're strong players
Hmm.
and they're strong.
Yeah,
Um,
and cute.
well, that too. That does not hurt at all, Sarah.
So,
See, it's interesting for me to hear your answers because my brain goes somewhere completely different.
yeah, what would you have done?
So for me, it's out of all the players that I get to pick from, I basically would pick the one that I have the most questions about, the one I
Mm,
don't know very well, the
Okay.
one that I don't quite understand how they're playing the game.
Hmm.
I just want more exposure to that. Or you could go with keep your enemies close. So
Yeah.
whoever
yeah.
you are really feeling is a traitor, like keep them close type thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I would have gone with that.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. Okay, so the challenge. They have to hold hands for 8 minutes and they get money at that point, and then whoever holds hands the longest out of like the two groups, is it two or three? I can't remember. Um,
Three.
they will be protected from murder tonight. So they have to put on goggles to hold hands. And I was thinking, WTF?
So I
Well,
kept
there's
saying,
confetti.
"Where's the twist? Where's the twist?" And then it came, and the show quickly turned into Fear Factor. No, thank
Yes.
you.
So there's these gifts, and the first one is giant millipedes. And Chriselle pulls her hand out of that box immediately before it even goes in there. And that death stare that Dolores did, she was so mad.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
be? I mean, that was
Yes,
so
that's
disappointing.
not
I
cool.
can't even tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not cool. Rob is so sweet. He distracts Sierra and tells her, like, if you don't want to know what's coming, don't look, and asking her questions. And Tom is a really struggling with this. And Dylan is like, A-okay. He's like, all good. But pretty much all the girls have their eyes closed. Like, they don't want to see what's being put into the box.
I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop cringing. And then I looked at Chriselle and I said, I am Chriselle and Chriselle is me. Like,
Okay,
Kelly.
so we won't
oh,
want to
there's no
pick
way.
Kelly for a challenge. Got it. Noted. Okay,
Not
so
with one with creepy crawlies. Hell no.
next up, we have the Taylor Swift Scorpions. Those things looked so scary.
Yeah.
Wait, Taylor Swift Scorpions.
That's what it said. I
What,
mean,
what? Can we
I
explain
mean,
this?
I guess that's
Does
what their
anybody
common
know?
name is. I don't know. We're gonna have to Google these scorpions, but
Maybe
maybe
they're
they're
super
kind
sweet.
of calm and like they don't, sting. Because I was like, scorpions, that seems like a horrible idea.
I'm a Google
Yeah,
search while we're chatting.
Okay,
yeah, do
yeah,
that.
report back. Okay, so next up we have cockroaches, mealworms, and crickets that are dumped on their heads. And it turns out that a top hat was a really good choice to wear for Tom.
Yeah.
I I like when he's like, "Yay." I thought this whole scene was so funny. And then they cut to Fergus like eating potato chips like over in the corner.
Okay. I
Yeah, but
Googled
yeah.
search Taylor Swift scorpion
Yeah.
Okay.
and a whip scorpion showed up. I'm not clicking on this. It's the tarantulacollective.co. I'm not clicking on this stuff. Hell no.
Okay.
Sorry. Love
We
Well,
you.
I
won't.
think you guys should just get Taylor on the show and she can
Yeah.
just fill
Oh
us
yeah,
in.
I'm sure she has plenty of
She's got
time and
free
she
time.
probably listens, so
Hi,
I got my red
Taylor.
lips on. We good.
sounds good.
Wait, though, Sarah, you kind of skipped over something
Oh,
important.
what did I skip over?
Sierra in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And
that
the
of all of this entire scene,
Hmm.
that is the one that got to me. They put was it a boa constrictor or a python or
Oh, we
something?
hadn't gotten to the snake yet.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay. But yeah, I loved all the laughing, Alan laughing, Dylan's laughing. I thought it was so funny. And they drape snakes around them at that
Yes.
point.
Yep.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah.
Um, Alan's giggle is the best, but my favorite part, I think, had to be Dolores and Chriselle's like commentary on the side. It was just too funny.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
Okay,
no.
so they have to go into sudden death because they have to find because they have a couple winners. They have to find a ring in this box of insects that was really nasty. And Sam and Ivor and Danielle and Brittany find the rings and then get shields. So they're shielded from murder that night.
This whole thing, in my opinion, was just gross all the way around, all parts of it. But then they had to ride back in the castle in the outfits they were wearing
I
with
know.
bugs and creepy crawlies probably still on them, around them.
I'd
Blech.
want to like jump in a lake immediately, like just be submerged in water. So
Yeah.
nasty.
Sarah, you're a scientist though. So
Yeah,
does
but
this
not an
really gross you out?
entomologist. No
Okay.
bugs. I'd be totally fine with the snake. That would be
Yeah,
like
are you
no
okay with
big
the
deal.
snakes?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally fine. It's not like it
Me
was
neither,
a
Kelly.
venomous snake. So, okay, so back to the castle. Rob throws out Brittany's name in his car and he really wants Carolyn and Danielle to vote with him, They need to be on the same page. He's got to get the votes. So, okay, the round table. Dylan tells everyone what Derek told him, on his way out about Brittany, and also Boston Rob was also suggested. So it was
Yeah.
interesting because he had told Boston Rob he wasn't gonna like divulge that information, but then he did at the round table. And
Yeah.
Rob defends himself yet again.
How many times are they going to let him like be up for nomination and then he's like the Susan Lucci of roundtables.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, unless they cut it out. Like, how come nobody at the round table says, you guys, his name has come up so many times now. When are we going to actually find our answer? I mean, I think for
Yeah.
me, that would have been my take, whether or not
Yeah.
we're trying to
He
find a
might be a
traitor
faithful, but like
or a
let's just vote him
faithful.
out either way. Like,
His name
Yeah,
keeps coming up,
yeah.
why not get it
absolutely.
out there? But you guys, faithful 100%.
Faithful 100. So Carolyn and Danielle want to get Rob out, but they know they can't like swing and miss basically
Yeah.
because he will hunt them down and take them out if they miss. And they do end up voting for him at the round table, so hopefully hopefully it's going to work and they're going to get enough votes.
Yeah.
The votes are all over the place. I really thought the votes
Yeah.
would be between Rob and Brittany with these
Yes.
discussions, but that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I feel
really
like a couple people
disappointed.
like threw their votes away
Me
Yeah.
because
too.
they didn't know
So
what to do.
Hmm.
Chriselle
Yeah.
threw hers
Yeah,
away. Dylan threw his away, which I was surprised by that one.
I was too.
You
Yeah.
know, um, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to vote
Dolores
for Rob
voted for
really.
Tom.
Always.
Yeah.
Her and Chriselle will always vote for Tom. It's a Bravo thing.
Right.
You guys, it's
So
easy. It's
Rob is
easy
voted
thing.
out. his speech is short and sweet. I was really looking forward to this. He says,
Yeah.
you know, he had fun, he had a great time, and he is and always has been a traitor. Celebrate.
Yay!
Woo!
I sure am gonna miss him though.
It's
So
gonna change the game a whole lot.
it really is. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So Rob said in his little green screen that he would have taken Carolyn to the end, but not Danielle. I mean, who knows?
I
It could
weirdly
change maybe.
believed that. I believed it.
Yeah, I really did
I
think,
know.
I mean, Carolyn was a good trader and he knew that, so
Yeah.
I don't he might have taken her out right at the end, but I do think he would have taken her to the end if he could. So,
Yeah. Did you guys have any thoughts on the costuming at the end of the episode? So
Oh,
like, when they're doing the cocktail party and then sitting at the table, did you guys have any thoughts or strong feelings about that?
I am like not really remembering.
uh-uh.
Okay. Well, just everything if you're playing this game, every little aspect is a part of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how you present yourself is going to be really important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there were a couple outfits that really stuck out to me. So Dolores was wearing, she made me think of Carmen Sandiego, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, she
I
did.
liked her
You know what I
outfit.
mean? And her
Yeah.
hat was kind of like covering her face, and she was like a
Yes.
detective kind of. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good choice, but nobody is honing in on her as a suspicious person. So
No.
Yeah.
I think she's okay. But then Danielle is wearing like a black leather jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's maybe some associations with what a black leather jacket could mean. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you were saying, the gym teacher
Yeah.
Yeah.
outfit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
interesting. Um, okay,
Have to
so
pay better
I
attention.
know. So there's just a lot to take in, especially in
There's
this
so
episode.
much. There's
Yeah.
So
so
in the
much.
turret, Carolyn and Danielle are discussing their options. Why is that all that I wrote down? I don't know. Okay. So, oh, because tonight is when they have the church thing, right?
They have to do the face
Oh, I
to
know.
face.
I
Yes,
love
they're
Yeah.
doing
it.
the face to face. That was so dramatic.
So
Yes.
dramatic.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
And of
It
So
was
course,
should we
just,
go over who got to go into the church?
oh yeah, who got to go
So
in and who do we
there
think's
was
gonna
Dylan and Tom,
Okay.
yeah.
Michelle and Dolores, and Gabby and Carolyn.
Oh my gosh.
So just Gabby.
We all know who I would go
Who
for
you would
here.
murder?
Yeah, you guys know. You guys already know.
Tom Sandoval?
That's right. I mean, come on, we got to play that card.
The fact
Okay.
that we can't say his name without saying the whole name,
Sandoval.
gotta be Tom Sandoval. My mom even knew who he was.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that guy
hilarious.
from Bravo who did the thing? I was like, yeah, he's a jerk. So,
That's so crazy.
yeah.
So sadly, that's where the episode ends, and we do not get to find out who was murdered this
They are
week.
That's a
so
great
mean,
ending.
Sarah.
I
It's
know.
worse than a to be continued because they didn't even say to be continued. They just shut it off. So rude.
Yeah.
So rude.
I can't wait to see the look on the faithful's face when they like see the traitors, because I'm sure they're gonna come up with the hoods on
Yeah.
and then
Uh-huh,
they're gonna
uh-huh.
like take them off and then I mean, that's gonna
Yeah.
be a fun moment.
This
Yeah.
is
I'm
so
excited.
interesting though. Like finally we do have a Traitors though that is quite a bit different because the Traitors really haven't worked together at all. And
Mm-mm.
Carolyn, I mean, her brain has got to be going a mile a minute trying to figure out how to navigate this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
Yeah.
really fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see, like you said, how the dynamic changes without Rob there. So,
Yep, it's going to.
pretty exciting. Okay, so Kate, I wanted to ask you about Southern Charm. I got caught up last night. Have you been enjoying this season, season 10?
It has been a fun season. Absolutely. There's been some great little twists and changes and maturity happening within the
Hmm.
characters that I'm enjoying watching. Yes. How about you? Have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, I have. I think it's a really good season. What do you think about Venita and JT? I just watched the episode where he reveals that he has a girlfriend or he's dating somebody.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Bummer. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, so it kind of they've been sort of showing these cute little snippets where it's
Yeah,
really clear that they have a
Yeah.
mutual
Little
understanding for each other, and it's
flirtation.
really sweet, you know?
It
yeah.
And
is.
I
They
just
were
love
cute.
this. Venita, I just love her approach. She's
Hmm.
like, I'm just gonna have him over. Like,
It's
let's
so
kind
grown
of
up.
just, you know what I mean? Let's just kind of address this type of
Yeah.
thing. And I do, I just love how she approached it. Now, JT, he apparently never thought this through.
Surprise,
Maybe
surprise.
maybe he just thought it would never come to the forefront, but now he's got two problems though, right?
Yeah. I guess he's had
Because
his hands so full with all the other issues he has with people in the group.
I know, but if you were his girlfriend, whom we don't know who she is,
Hmm.
you're kind of like, oh man, so you have a thing for Venita?
Right.
Oh, I would be kind of
Yeah.
like, well, I think you need to go figure some things out, you know?
Yeah.
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 Not
So
cool.
Don't hurt my Venita. I love her.
I
She
do
is
isn't she
so
too.
adorbs?
classy and
I
just
was
adorable and
I was telling
classy.
some of our like Instagram friends, Venita is probably my favorite character on the show. And
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
hate that in order to get more camera time, she either had to have a love interest with JT or she had to fall in a pool and
Oh,
like
you think
almost
so?
drown. I'm like, I would watch her just puttering around her house with her little dog Charles, and like I want to see more about her life as an influencer and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something that really like resonates with me, I did have the chance to live in Charleston for a while.
hmm
And I've always been really, in awe about the architecture and the aesthetic, so much of what people are drawn to Charleston for. When you go into Venita's apartment, that space resonates with me so much. Like her little kitchen with the tiny little
hmm
stove and just how she has it all set up.
It's
I just
beautiful.
love it. It feels good. It feels
Hmm
real. It's not there to put on a show for anybody.
Right.
No, she has clearly made that space for herself. It's so authentic. And,
Yeah.
I think that's why so many of us are drawn to her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her hairstyles, I love checking out her
Her
hairstyles.
outfits, her hair. She's got those
Yes.
big, beautiful eyes. Like
Right?
she's enchanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, more Venita. Okay,
She's
so
just real.
Shep has this girlfriend from the Bahamas. Why do you think he is so nervous about this relationship? I mean, we've never seen him like this. He is just,
Well, he is like any other dude.
you
He
think?
wants what he can't have. I mean, that's why he's
Okay, it's like because
so like
she's a little
grasping
aloof,
for
like
her,
yeah.
and she's kind of like, I don't know.
Do you
Yeah.
think she knows who Shep is? Like who
Oh, Kelly, it has come out that, well, Madison and I assume you're not caught up on Southern Charm,
I am
probably.
definitely not. I've caught
Okay.
snippets, but I'm not
So
caught up. But it's okay.
Madison and Miss Patricia have a little sleepover, and Patricia tells her that Shep's girlfriend was like coming after Whitney before she came after Shep, and like she's a big fan of the show. So they think that she
Oh,
was just trying to kind of find her way in one way
But
or
Kelly, what do
another.
you mean? Does she know who Shep is? What do you mean by that?
like
I
his
wonder if I'm
reputation
missing something.
that he's a dirty bird.
She has to know. I think he was just a way to get on the show, don't you think?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Hard to
I'm
tell.
not going there, but I am gonna say this whole Shep. What is her name again?
I don't remember her name. Miss Bahamas.
Yeah, yes, she is Miss Muhammad. This whole thing, like, I feel like it's like a full circle moment in Shep's development as a human being.
Hmm
He's just kind of on the other side of it for once.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know what I
point.
mean?
Yeah,
I,
yeah, I see
yeah,
that.
I cannot wait for next week's episode where they're in the
Oh,
Bahamas and it like something's gonna happen with her and
but you all know, okay, so he's on, FaceTime call with her,
yeah.
and he
I saw
says,
that.
"Are you excited for us to come? Do you have some things planned?" And she really gave a non-answer.
Oh yeah, very aloof.
And,
Like,
you know,
yeah,
in
sure.
all of my wise years of, life, when somebody gives you a non-answer, I think
Uh-huh.
you have your answer.
You're not
You
Right.
ready.
know what I mean?
She's
Yep.
just not that into you, dude. Yeah.
It's kind of like the text message that you never get a response from, and you
Mm-hmm.
still think they're going to give you a response. Well, you have your answer.
Yeah, you're right.
The
You're
answer's
right.
no.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm
truth
excited
will
for
set you
that.
free, friend.
We
Shep
didn't.
apparently was seen in my hometown here.
Oh yeah, what's the deal with that? He was
I
there
am
fly
not sure.
fishing or
We
something?
have, so here in Missoula, Montana, we have a lot of sort of grunge bars, kind of like old school, kind of like dirty bars. And they're really fun to just go and sit at the bar and have a
Mhm.
drink. And guess what? If you go there alone, you'll leave there with at least one more friend.
Yeah.
You'll just
Okay.
you start up a random conversation with anybody or any group of people that are there. That's just kind of the vibe around here. But I guess he went to a place called Red's Bar, and that's one of those kind of dirt baggy bars that's downtown.
Okay.
My friend was there, and she says to her boyfriend, "That's Shep. That's Shep from Southern Charm." And her boyfriend says, "Oh, you know him? Why don't you go over and say hi?" She was like, "Yeah, I don't think you quite understand."
hmm So I
So,
don't really know him.
anyways, but yeah, that's funny because also your friend from below deck, he came through town too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Kyle.
right. Kyle Stilley.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
he has
Kyle.
family in Missoula, so he spent a lot of time there. And I'm sure he still will continue to.
Yeah,
Okay, so he wasn't really in the last couple episodes, but Rodrigo, with the
yes.
glasses. I don't really understand why they gave him another season. I want to say bravo, quit trying to make Rodrigo happen, quit trying to make Fetch
He
happen. Like,
he did do a little pot stirring situation like a few episodes
little.
ago. I was like, okay, he's stepping it up just a little.
He doesn't seem comfortable on camera. He was a kind of a jerk to me at BravoCon. Like,
Yeah.
I
He was with
don't.
Shep.
No.
He was
Yeah,
with
he was
Shep
with
too.
Shep, which it is now revealed that Shep was like blackout drunk, like all of
Yeah.
BravoCon. So,
Yeah.
but like, I have a mutual friend with him, and I was trying to make a conversation about it, and he was just like, didn't even want to talk to me. Just like, who are you?
Rude.
He was really
So
rude.
rude.
Yeah, and
Kindness
anyway,
can go a long ways.
yeah, anyway. And it wasn't like we were just out and about. We were in the VIP section. Like, give me a break.
Girl.
Okay, so that boys' dinner in the last episode,
Yeah.
Whitney was
Oh,
very overserved.
I
Every
cannot
time
wait
the
to talk about this.
every time the camera cut to him, his hair got crazier and crazier. I want to take some screenshots and like put it all together. And then at one point he fell out of his chair, like broke one of those antique chairs at Patricia's house. What a freaking mess.
Well, okay, so this was sort of a re-performance of a dinner they previously had at
hmm
Patrice's house where he spoke to a character and said, "That cupcake is the last thing you need."
Oh, Whitney's the worst. Can I just say the
And then what
worst?
he just said to Shep was, "Well, I can tell you why Miss Bahama is not that into you. You don't have enough money," basically, right? Was it you don't have
Yeah.
enough money, you're not handsome enough or something?
Yeah.
Like he really hit below the belt.
Yeah. It's like, here's
Yes,
what I really
Kelly?
think about you.
Whitney, um, do you ha okay, Whitney does not have any sort of future or existing love interest. Nobody wants to be around him. Why is he so like
I think you should Google that actually. Because if
Find out if
he
he's dating someone.
does, it hasn't been a part of the show, which we've learned, some partners choose
Interesting.
to sort of bow out. I
Mm-hmm.
have
Yeah.
actually wondered, what does he do? Because he went to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
He kind of acted like his social circle kind of lies within that realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he is one of the creators of Southern Charm. Like he did like
Okay.
I mean, so he's a producer. Who knows? I
Yeah.
mean, he can do whatever he wants because his mom is like filthy rich, and I'm sure he has a
Okay.
trust fund.
So, all right. So, Patricia, if you're listening, I want to send you a message. Despite, clearly having a bunch of money, I feel like she is like the most beautiful example of aging. And I don't even necessarily mean that on the exterior. I
Hmm.
mean it like her personality. I adore her personality.
Hmm. She's so
She is
fun.
just such a cool, real person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Witnessing her son kind of acting like that, I thought she handled it really well.
Yeah.
Whitney. She's always like,
You know what I
Whitney.
mean? You don't want to make too big of a scene of it,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh man, I didn't raise him to be like that.
Yeah.
So
He's
I
a
I
like
appreciate her
50-year-old
presence.
boy.
Yeah, I appreciate her presence, and the friendship that she and Madison have is
Yeah, it's
pretty
cute.
cool. I think having multi-generational friendships and connections is
Hmm.
really important to everyone. I think older
Absolutely.
folks, need mentorship from younger folks, and then back the other way. There's lots to learn. There's lots on the table
Yeah,
there. So
definitely. Well, I think that we'll kind of like wrap it up there. But Kate, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so fun. Will you come back again to discuss some like housewives or below deck stuff?
I would love to, but you know what? We also have to talk about.
Hmm.
We're gonna have to talk about Summer House
Okay, that sounds good.
when that comes up
Yeah, I
for
think it's
sure.
coming out
But yeah, I
soon.
would love to. And Kelli, I really love this really beautiful outfit that you created for Sarah.
Thank you.
I do too.
I
And I
had
kept it on the whole time.
inspiration
You
from
had
our
some
hostess with or host with the most, Mr. Alan Cummin.
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty great. So
Yeah, it's
Working on
fabulous.
mine too. It's going to be fabulous.
Should we wear them at BravoCon?
Oh my God. We'd have to hem them a lot.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a little outro here for us.
Okay.
All right. That's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat, especially Joss. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Kate, for joining us. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at abovedeckpod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And you can watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Entertainment YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelli Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next time.